my mom has been my inspiration, not my downfall. Because all along, what she was saying to me, doing to me, I was being inspired to be opposite her. Right? So instead of being resentful towards her, I should be thanking her.
How did you forgive?
I don't think I've forgiven. Maybe I haven't forgotten, but I just decided that if she passes, I'll regret it. So I was in Spain and I called her up and I said, I hadn't seen her for like years. And I phoned her up and said, Mom, what are you doing this Christmas? She goes, nothing. I said, I'm sending you a ticket. And since then, I speak to her every single day. Every single day. And God forbid if anything happens, I'll have no regrets because I gave it my best shot. Right? But she was my inspiration through torment. Yes, because I just thought, I don't want to have a life like you. I don't think I am a loser. I don't think I'm ugly. God, it was a battle though. Even now, age 50 odd, when I walk.
Do you know that you can be a reason for changing people's life from this channel? Probably you will ask me how. I will tell you how. My name is Ahmed Khaled and I am the host of this Unleashed podcast. We speak mainly around personal development and entrepreneurship. Our mission is unleashing the human greatness to its utmost potential. And this is by interviewing CEOs, entrepreneurs and coaches physically in Dubai to extract their wisdom and change your life. Now, can I ask you to do me 2 favors? Firstly, can you hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel to grow more than you expect. Secondly, can I ask you also to refer this channel to 3 of your friends who can benefit from the values of this channel, and you will be the reason of changing their life. Now, you can enjoy the episode. In your case, like challenges that you faced in your childhood and the not easy situations that you faced, turning this hating or just challenges into optimism and positivity, it was not easy, right? What was the trigger that happened in your life and changed it?
Life was shit as a kid, right? So, constant mental abuse, constant physical abuse. My mom married a guy who was an alcoholic. It was just horrible. I wasn't allowed to go out. I wasn't allowed to speak to anyone. And they always feared my safety. They've always feared fear. So something inside me resented them, hated them, right? But I just knew the moment I turned 18, I'll be free. I even tried to kill myself a few times. Yeah, because I just had enough. I had enough of abuse. You know, I'm not going to go into detail because some of those family members are still with us. And I always thought that my positivity must have been my dad's, right? Because there's nothing positive in my life. My surroundings are diabolical, right? What was happening to me as a child, I would not wish it on anyone. I'm sure the children with far worse situations than me, but mine was not that it was a loss. I was told how lucky I was as a child, and everything was abuse. I'm like, I can't even express myself. I've got to pretend I'm lucky, right? Even now, and of course, abusers forget what they did to that child. Even now, people that I meet now, they just don't remember what they did. So anyhow, being told you're ugly, being told you're not good enough, being told you're worse than shit, you're being physically, not sexually, but physically abused. It was just horrible. So so I couldn't bear some members of my family for what they did, right? And I had to love them from far to succeed. So I always thought, you know what, I wish I knew my dad. I wish I knew him. He must have been such an angel, so positive, so this, so that, because I'm positive, that I can't bear negativity, right? And I was on a course about 8-9 years ago. I was training I think about 100 people in the Tony Robbins seminar. I'm a Tony Robbins coach. And there's about 2,000 people. They give 200 people to different team leaders. And I was teaching them, suddenly, I don't know what happened, something Tony said on video or something, and I thought, good God, I've been seeing it the wrong way around, right? My mom has been my inspiration, not my downfall. Because all along, what she was saying to me, doing to me, I was being inspired to be opposite her. Right? So instead of being resentful towards her, I should be thanking her.
How did you forgive?
I don't think I've forgiven. Maybe I haven't forgotten, but I just decided that if she passes, I'll regret it. So I was in Spain and I called her up and I said, I hadn't seen her for like years. And I phoned her up and said, Mom, what are you doing this Christmas? She goes, nothing. I said, I'm sending you a ticket. And since then, I speak to her every single day. Every single day. And God forbid if anything happens, I'll have no regrets because I gave it my best shot. Right? But she was my inspiration through torment. Yes, because I just thought, I don't want to have a life like you. I don't think I am a loser. I don't think I'm ugly. God, it was a battle though. Even now, age 50 odd, when I walk, I still walk with a bit of a hunch. Right? Because when I was a child, I used to walk like this because I was embarrassed of who I was. If I do this, and it probably on camera, it doesn't look bad, I hurt. Because for so many years, I did this. And if you look at my videos, and I got a lot of videos on Marcus, a lot of times I'm hunched. And I see that, and it reminds me of my childhood, how I was ashamed to be a human. I was ashamed of being existent because I was told, like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this life. Yes, if it wasn't for you, this, and you're not good enough, this person's better than you. Maybe it's a Middle Eastern thing, I don't know. But I think I deserve better because I was a bit, I guess I was sensitive, right? Because I had a lot of loss. So
How did you control and change the situation?
well, I can't handle it too long. So about an hour with her is I'm done. Okay, so sometimes you have to love people. I'm just saying, don't love them from a distance. It's okay to love people from a distance because you deserve to be happy. You deserve not to be, especially in the Middle East, we're so close family. We just take it. But you know what? You're on this world once. Why suffer? Why suffer? Let them live their life. Love them, but love them from distance. You don't have to suffer for the love. Am I making sense?
But it's not easy.
Life's not easy. You want an easy path, kill yourself. Unless all your stars are aligned and you're a 1 in a billion, life's easy. But I promise you, whoever's life's easy is not fully satisfied. So life's hard.
How we handle it, it's most importantly. You told me that I couldn't forgive, right? What could be the factor that makes you forgive?
Realize that they were also victims. They're a victim of their circumstances. And their parents' circumstances and their grandparents'. So it's just this shitty DNA has been passed along the way. But thank God, through knowledge, through information, we can stop it so it doesn't get passed on to our children.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's just, people aren't born like that. It's happened to them, so they just think that's the way it is. They just reflect on it.
I think I'm inspired by your great story. And at the same time, I want to absorb a lot of values from your experience.
Thank you.
I
won't charge you today.
Maybe next time. Next time.
Not maybe. Definitely next time.
I love the journey that you have had in entrepreneurship. Could you define just what's the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur?
Employee wakes up, expects a certain amount of things to happen the right way set by the company. If things don't happen, employee complains, goes to the union, goes to the manager, blames, gets in the canteen and complains about everything. Entrepreneur comes in, puts the systems in place, faces shit and fixes it. As entrepreneur makes a difference. An employee, difference happens to them. Entrepreneur takes risks. Employee takes zero risk. Entrepreneurs have more fun. They have more pain. They have a roller coaster ride. When an employee just takes it, and then Shit happens to them. They get fired. Corona happens. They get redundant. They're just a victim of circumstances. They are the Titanic to the iceberg, whilst the entrepreneurs is a speedboat to the iceberg. Avoids it. An employee hits the iceberg and sinks.
What makes an employee an entrepreneur? Could be
The day they've had enough. Is enough. I'm done. Yes, enough pain, enough sorrow, enough frustration. My boss is a wanker. I've got to listen to these dickheads all the time. I have to go home and look at my kids and justify what the fuck I did today, and I took it up the ass all day long. And it's enough. My life's worth more than this. And that day, it could be the day you get fired. Maybe it's not by choice. I actually admire people who are comfortable and then decide to change. They don't wait for shit to happen to their life and circumstances make them change. Shit happened to my life. So I share it with people. I said, don't let what happened to me to happen to you. You just make change. If you're young and you come to a training course, I honor you because you don't have to, right? But then if you're investing at a young age into training and personal development, what's your life going to be like by the time you're 30? Don't start at 50 and then you don't have the same energy and inspiration and passion that you did when you were 20. Start young, invest, save, compound growth in your body, compound growth in your knowledge, compound growth in your savings, compounding growth in your business. And very quick, are you familiar with compound growth?
Yeah.
So very quickly, for the first 10 years of investment, nothing happens, right? 11th year, it goes through the roof. So be patient and compound growth happens to you. Start young.
What makes an entrepreneur successful?
What is success to you? I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, being happy and peaceful, feeling peace, this internal peace.
Become a monk. You can have peace in Nepal. Don't be an entrepreneur. I'm serious. True. So if you want to have peace in your life, go to India. And because the happiest people, peaceful people, are the poor people in India. That puts a spanner at the works, right? Because money doesn't make you happy. Prosperity doesn't make you happy. You have to be happy inside, right? To me, as an entrepreneur, I want to fly first class everywhere. I want to go to a toilet in Amazon and it's 5-star. I don't want to sit in a tent with mosquito bites over my ass, yes? I want the best in life. I want to have the best experience. I want to travel the world, wherever I want to, how long I want to, whatever standard I want to, with whoever I want to, duration I want. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Without having to worry. I want to put my head on that pillow and sleep at night soundly that I've done it the best I can. That to me is happiness. Along the way, you're going to get pain. Bring it on. Because through pain, you grow. Through hurt, you grow. Right? So if you want to have a happy life and a safe life, become a monk. But I'm sure, I swear to God, there's diplomacy and politics in the monastery. Yeah? Because some fucker wants to be the top monk. That's human beings, right? During the communist days, friggin' Lenin and Stalin had first-class trains taking them from A to B. And they were communist leaders. So they were living a capitalist life because they were leaders. They wanted to sleep well on their trains in 1914. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about equality. As human beings, there is no such thing as equality. You be competitive creatures. Right? So maybe the happiness, you should define it more. What makes me happy? Right? I'll tell you what makes me happy. Tying the shoelaces on my kids every morning and for them to kiss me and give me some love. That makes me so happy. At the same time, I know I'm paying for this expensive uniform, expensive school fees, any extracurricular activities they want, best holidays. I'm not going to spoil them, but I'm going to work my ass off, and I don't have to say thank you because I want to offer the best for my kids. That makes me happy.
But there is always a motive behind this. Why? What was the reason for your success? And what makes any entrepreneur successful?
Okay, not most entrepreneurs aren't successful.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a small percentage who make it. Most entrepreneurs lose, unfortunately.
What differentiate the successful and the losers?
Since I was a child, because my mom always said, "You're not good enough, and they're better than us." I never got jealous. I was like, "He is this, and he's smart. He's got this car. They live here." I always thought, "What are they doing that I can learn to be like that?" So the questions I was asking myself dictated the way I action things. So you have to be aware of the conversations and the questions you ask yourself, the statements you make. And if they're inspiring, magnify them. If they're not serving you, don't talk like that to yourself. Okay, so that's the first thing. So your conversations with yourself have got to be inspiring. Ask how and what, how, right? Look in the mirror rather than through the window, right? Look at yourself, change yourself. When you change yourself, you can change the world around you. You can't change the world around you. Yes, if I manage, the difference between Elon Musk and myself, apart from $300 billion, is that he manages his time better. How the hell does this guy run these billion-dollar companies? He manages his time better. He's not an alien. He's not, he's just very smart with the way he manages his time. So poor people don't manage their time well. Rich people manage their time better. And by the way I manage my time, my environment respects my time more. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I know that you have taught a lot of entrepreneurs through Arena. What are the biggest mistakes that you always just witness from an entrepreneur that you can give to them? And
one thing I noticed, first of all, every day I think to myself, am I doing the right thing? Because most people don't do anything, right? Then I think, then I get a message from one person saying I've changed their life, saying, "Oh God, I'll continue that one." Every day, one person comes along to inspire me again. I'm like, I wish for a week I didn't get any messages and I can just go on the beach every day, right?
Mm.
So, one, people don't like taking action. By nature, we're lazy, so we take the lazy route. I say to people, you want to be rich. How much, when? How much you have to earn every hour or every day to get to where you want to be? How long will it take you? They can't even be bothered putting in writing. Somebody says, I want to borrow some money to start my own business. Will you lend me some money? Sure, do a business plan. I never see them again. They can't even be bothered putting a business plan together. I say, I'm looking for a marketing manager. Every time Dick and Harry cuts and pastes the CVs and sends it to me. And in there it says, please send me a heartfelt letter explaining why I should hire you, as CVs are all lies. They can't even be bothered putting a heartfelt letter together, explaining why they're different in the marketplace to anybody else. People are generally lazy, so they don't take action. And then what they do, they become victims. Instead of taking responsibility, they blame. The course was shit. Yes, Corona. Oh, there's a war in Ukraine, so that's why I'm not earning money. The bank, did you hear about the banks that failed in America? That's why I'm not earning money. The stock market's going to, AI, today, AI. Yes, the future is doom and gloom because AI is coming. They're just looking for everything and anything to enforce the story, the bullshit story they tell themselves. Right? So when I do a course, there's billionaires in the room, right? Millionaires and poor people. Who were the ones who argued most? The poor people. Do you remember that girl who was like, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, have you done any market? No, I've done no market research. Do you remember?
Yes.
And she was fighting. And I'm like, I wanted to tell her, shut the fuck up, because you're the least amount of money in the group. You're sucking up everybody's time. And all you're doing is fighting for the label and the story you tell yourself. And if you were honest enough, open up your bank statement and you'll have minus something or zero next to it. That means you are getting paid what you think you're worth in the marketplace. People pay you what you think you're worth, right? If somebody pays me $2 an hour because that's how much I think I'm worth, right? So work on yourself. Learn money management from rich people. Don't learn how to have a love life from a rich person. Go to a love coach. So somebody's had a happy relationship. Go to a spiritual coach, a yogi. Right? So different coaches. but always learn, always grow. These people are lazy and they blame. They don't take responsibility, right? Because to become rich, it needs discipline. Things don't happen quickly unless you win the lottery. And even then, most people are so used to deprivation. 90% of people who win the lottery have no money after 3 years.
Because they don't know how to spend it.
They sabotage themselves because they are used to being poor. Many times I see an opportunity, I see a superstar. And stupidly, I think I can help them. I'll bring him, I train them, and they become rich. And they'd resent me. I said, hang on a second, you remember you were on 2,000 dirhams, now you're on 50,000 dirhams, you're happy, you have a car. I got you to drive a car. Do you know what they said? I was happy there. Why'd you drag me here? Because they're conditioned to and used to that pain. So they self-sabotage to go to where the only place they know. We are screwed as human beings.
It's all about
Swear to
mindset.
God. When you network, right? You meet people all the time.
100%.
How many life coaches do you meet?
A lot.
How many of them are happy? Rarely. How many of them are wealthy? Rarely. And the first question I say, can I ask you what qualifies you to be a life coach? You know what they said? I fixed my life.
Do you lie? Or, yeah?
You think you fixed? Broken biscuits?
Yeah.
You know, just like, it's quite sad. I was saying over dinner earlier, I said to you, I lost a dear acquaintance. I thought it was a friend. And I phoned him up and I said, I haven't seen you for 4 years. And he said, your success pisses me off. And I was like, I can't even comprehend. If my friend was successful, he'd inspire me. I said, why don't you come to my house? He goes, when I see your success and the way you live, he just realizes how shit my life is. How can he change that way of thinking? Because, well, I love you. I noticed you've lost a bit of weight. This has happened. You're going to your business is doing well. Congratulations. But I can't bear being near you because it highlights how bad my life is. And I'm like, if a billionaire came to me and says, be in my life, I'll be there. I'll be copying him, listening to him, learning from him, growing. But this person is going to die a frustrated life and they're miserable. They are miserable.
Would you concern about those people?
Hurts because I know they're going to have regrets. There's 3 ways people die. One is that they have so much aches and pains that we're all happy for them to go. They're even happy to go. And they'll be free of pain. Second one is that they've had a beautiful life and they've achieved all the goals and everybody's happy for them. They all go, right? So families around them and we celebrate their life and they go. But the worst pain is that somebody gets old and they have frustrations. I wish I'd done things differently. And they can never take that time back. And I've seen it. My father-in-law, he died a frustrated life and his last words was, oh no, fuck, and he died. That's so painful to see that. My wife cries now and she remembers it. Because he was a frustrated entrepreneur. He had all the ideas but never took action because he had a fear of failure. And guess what he did? He suffocated his kids. Yes? Don't do it, you'll fail. Don't do it, you'll fail. So, you know, it's sad.
It's not easy. Definitely, it's not easy.
Stop saying that. Life's hard. Life's hard.
But how do you control such things by your mind?
You got to constantly analyze, right? You got to, like I said, you got to keep listening to your internal dialogue and keep, you know, when a plane goes from DXB to JFK and it's 7,000 kilometers, whatever it is, right? It's 10-meter wide runway. This plane goes from one continent over oceans, crosses several continents and lands within 10, what miracle, 10-meter wide runway. During this 14-hour flight, how often do you think this plane is off track?
A lot.
99.99999% of the time. But if there was no autopilot to bring it back, it'll end up in Brazil. True?
Yeah.
It won't even get close to the runway. So why do we think we're any different? We've got to have an autopilot constantly fixing ourselves, constantly adjusting, and that's driven by goals, written goals that you look at every single day. When I had nothing, when my diet was 2 sugar donuts, 2 coffees and a sugar donut a day, I lived in a maid's room, right? What kept me going? Those cards that I had everywhere, so I didn't allow my shitty circumstances to remind me I was a loser. So I had these cards that I looked at every single day, knowing if I follow these daily actions, sooner than later I'll become wealthy. Sooner than later I'll have money to feed my kids. Sooner or later I'll pay for the school fees. And I say this like I'm sick of it, that it's so easy to get motivated when you have nothing, isn't it? Because you do or die. The tough part, which we spoke about earlier, is when you're comfortable taking that measure, taking that step. Because most of us are freaking comfortable. Most of us sit behind the type and we get paid, right? Where's the growth in that?
You inspired me. And I believe that thousands, but even millions.
Bro, you inspire me. Do you know why you inspire me?
Why?
Your friggin' energy, your smile. You have a gift.
Thank you.
You have a gift. And unleash yourself.
It's a pleasure having you, really. You really touched me by a lot of things, and the way that
Please, hang on a second. Before you go any further, clarify you touched me. Because I don't want this to go out to the marketplace saying,
not at all.
I have 4 kids, for God's sake. Come, I have a reputation in the marketplace. Can you rephrase that?
My soul.
You touched me in places nobody else had.
Really, I love your energy. And you touched my soul today with your inspiration, specifically your story and your stories that you really have had. And I believe these stories also will touch a lot of people, their souls, definitely.
One of the most common things I get on social media, I have over a million followers on social media, is like, your story resonates with me. We didn't touch half my story. 99% of my story. It's been a long life. And you know what I say to your listeners? If you want to inspire people, share your vulnerability. People are so scared of fear of what judgment people think. Be fearless. Fear, enjoy the fear or experience fear, but just do it, right? Because it's always going to be there. Michael Jackson said every single time before he went on stage, he was nervous. And that's what made him the entertainer he was. So understand the fear and nerves is part of life. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There will never be one.
All the best for your arena, and I believe that you inspired already thousands, but even millions. Thank you so much for being here today.
I honor you, Ahmed. Thank you for your invitation, and I salute you, Gladiator.
Unleash is the bridge between my purpose and my mission. And my mission is unleashing the human greatness to its utmost potential.